They are such talented players. We just don't see them perform as we expect them to. We're gonna go through the map ban phase. We're gonna go ahead and find out where we actually get to play this one. And looks like it's going to be...
Glad to see Reciprocity's stopping playing Consulate.
I actually can't see it, so you're going to have to tell me what it is.
Yeah, so it's actually going to be Theme Park, oddly enough. EG had the last ban on to Clubhouse, so we will get Theme Park here. Yeah, that'll be
exciting.
Fun. This is the first one for NA, so...
Yeah, I have not casted a Theme Park yet. This is going to be my first one there. I'm pretty excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I did the Chaos one, and Chaos really seemed like they were well prepared on Theme Park. So I hope to see the same from both of these teams. Obviously, Throne Room was definitely the meta, but what we saw that was really cool as well was seeing the way teams would extend between initiation and bunks and daycare. Depending, regardless of which site it was upstairs, they tended to extend that roam into both those rooms. And I thought that was really cool to see just kind of that upper floor really spread out on the defense to be able to take a lot of control of it. So we'll probably see some of that today. Reciprocity favored in this match, no surprise. EG, I mean, honestly, that some of that 33% is that popularity contest sort of thing in terms of EG still having a lot of fans because, statistically, they're not doing so hot.
Yeah, so honestly, Evil Geniuses is, again, they're one of the most storied teams in North America. And having been around for as long as they have, they acquire a lot of respect, I think, from the community. And there's still people that are expecting and waiting for them to bounce back. We'll see if this is going to be their moment. We're going to load into Theme Park. Evil Geniuses versus Reciprocity with EG starting on attack. Reciprocity, the advantage of defense, or at least what I would imagine is the advantage. You've got the experience, Devin. Attack or defense on Theme Park?
I mean, with Throne Room being so good at the moment, it might just be advantage defense because the top 2 floor sites are also pretty good. Ash ban start things out, so keeping it interesting from Reciprocity there, that is definitely going to hurt some of the players on that team on EG. But yeah, definitely, it seems a little defense-sided in some respects. It really depends on how well prepared you are on to making those Throne Room attacks. But at the same time, if those top 2 floor sites, your defenses aren't set up super well, those definitely can work against you. Chaos seem to play it pretty defensive-sided, but Chaos also play an interesting kind of defense where they're very kind of spread out, roam heavy, kind of unpredictable. And so we may or may not see the same thing here, but this is Reciprocity. We know Laxing can be very unpredictable on his roams, and that could definitely factor in on this map. It is still a fairly large map to clear out, a little less big with the train taken out. But it is definitely still, could take a bit of work to clear out a lot of this map. It would be interesting to see if we see Drug today because we didn't see that really so much last time. Oh, well, my ban, there we go. This is definitely getting interesting here.
Yeah, these bans are really interesting. But I think they're highlighting how diverse our meta is right now. Well, not diverse, but how there's like this one core issue and things centered around that. And this issue is being alleviated by the Wamai ban and compounded by the Thatcher ban. And there's this whole counterplay going on in that ban phase. The issue being, of course, the layers that the defense have to slow you down as an attacker.
Yeah, I think the big part of that as well is the last 2 DLCs that were introduced into this game that are playable. Both had really good defenders that are really important to the meta, and attackers that are basically non-present in it. So that definitely helps defense as well.
I mean, we've had that forever, though, I feel like, in Siege.
Sometimes, yeah.
Remember back in the start when we had, like, 5 viable operators on each side?
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, the meta was pretty consistent.
Yeah, you saw pretty much the same people all the time, right? Or at least the same operators, not the same, like, people playing those operators necessarily.
Yeah. Well, we will see Initiation start with, and they do that extension that I was talking about. You see the impact in Initiation there to rotate over to the bunk side. So they will definitely be doing that same sort of play where they're even actually extending, they get all the way up to pretty much yellow stairs, depending on whether or not they open up that rotate in Vault. That's the thing you have to worry about, though, is Vault itself. If you open up that rotate, you expose yourself potentially to players coming in there, but they are sealing up the side in Cafe, which makes me think they could potentially leave the one soft on the other side to be able to. The nice thing about that, right, is if you leave the rotate on Vault soft right there, it can be very difficult with it reinforced on the Cafe side to be able to get onto that platform to then try and get into Vault. So you're actually leaving yourself a way to rotate a little bit out of the site yourself onto yellow stairs, which is pretty good, but they haven't opened that up. So hard to say, they just left it soft for the moment.
So right now, the biggest thing that interests me about this whole equation is that we don't really know a whole lot about theme park competitively, right?
Yeah.
We're always going to see new things when it gets brought out. And you saw a little bit of Europe, and we'll definitely need your input on that European meta for theme park for this match. But most of us haven't seen theme park at all, and that's what's going to change a lot of perception about a match. Because typically speaking, you see a kind of predictable strategy come out from most teams on most maps, but I don't know if we're going to see that same thing here and now, or if it's just going to be the same thing over and over again, or completely all over the place. What we do know is that MBK is going to be the first casualty, and Spades will be the second. It's all just Vertical playing a long angle with the reflex and winning his gunfights. That's impressive stuff from him.
He's definitely in a good position here. That table really working well for that peak. Plus the way he has the whole setup just kind of to the right so he can lean into it. Definitely doing well for him. I don't think they're going to continue to push him. Bio surprisingly taking a lot of damage for an Echo early in a round. Probably wasn't in the greatest position, so hopefully he can stick around. But they have such a man advantage right now. They might not need those Yokais.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, what we're looking at right now is definitely just one guy getting those winning those gunfights. And that's Vertical. And that long angle, I really like that he set that up. You can see he clearly planned it. It's controlling half of the map here. Biologic is a little aggressive there, but he does manage to get one before being felled by Mo, and that's pretty good. Mo probably would have killed him eventually anyway. Laxing will make a rotation by Yellow Stairs and get one before being felled by Mo again. Mo, the standout performer for his team, but he's finished off by Foxay, and Reciprocity will take the first round of this defense.
Well, they did open up that rotate onto the Yellow Stairs that you see right there. Both Fox and Laxing used. That is the strength of doing that by reinforcing the cafe side. So definitely a good strategy there. Those Yellow Stairs are always a good point of contention on this map. And you see that right there. Really working out for those rotates back in from the... I like that the roamers just kind of went back to site confident with that rotate and were able to make it work. But good plays. Yes, Bio sacrificed himself, but he was on low health. So to get a kill right there and trade it, like that was still completely worth it, especially with the man advantage that Vertical put them in. Overall, a good defense and obviously some good early picks, really working on their favor. I hope EG, have some good plans for this because they are the ones who decided for it to go to theme park because they had last ban.
Yeah.
So they should have been, they should be prepared for it. I think most teams are adequately prepared for theme park in the sense that we generally see it left as one of the last bans across most of the regions. So because of that, I expect teams to be prepared. But the question is, when it comes down to it, how prepared they'll actually be, when the chips are down.
Well, I think honestly what we're seeing right now is Reciprocity is the most prepared. And off that last round, I saw a lot of strategy put into their setup. So clearly they wanted it to go through. Evil Genius is giving them what they wanted, essentially. That one position, for example, from Vertical on that little table. So what that did, effectively, is it cut off half of all of the potential push. Because you got to remember, in theme park, on the top floor, you have a similar situation that you have on Cafe of the top floor, right? Which is you've got that giant open area, that's Dragon. And because that Dragon exists, because that open area exists on the top floor, that means there's much more bottlenecks in that area. So you got a situation where you can either come through Control to get into Initiation, you can go down the main hallway, or you can go through Cache, right? Well, Vertical's cutting off one of those major options, and that's if you add Dragon to it, that's half of the top floor covered just by Vertical. So how do you deal with that? Well, you could come at him from Cafe, but that's going to waste a ton of time, and it's just not worth it to upset your attack quite like that. So Vertical hitting those shots, being on that position, and the plan that Reciprocity had in play there really is beautiful. That's good use of some drones from Evil Geniuses to get rid of the pest, to streamline things. Again, we talked about how time is the most important factor in this day and age. You can sacrifice a drone just to get more of it.
Yeah, and it looks like Reciprocity are able to take advantage of a lot of similar elements to this defense because of the other top floor can be extended to each other. Ooh, almost got caught on a flank there. Actually, sorry, that was support from his teammate. But they also opened up the Yellow Stairs rotate that you could see Slash using right now. They were also playing aggressively in the showers rather, that you saw a push from. So it's somewhat similar defense happening for a second round in a row here, just because of the way those top two floor sites are almost kind of one big site if you play it that way. And so you're really just kind of maybe leaning slightly to one side or the other, but otherwise relatively similar setups. And in a way, the attackers could take advantage of that too, kind of knowing how the defense is going to be set up. But Vertical again, opening things off again, the first kill on the NVK. So that opening duel continuing to go in favor of Team Reciprocity here. They're doing what they can to slow this down, but at least Slash, the second pickup here, Spades doing some work, didn't even take any damage for it, but immediately traded.
Biologic, some big kills from the small room, and that's 2 down. Team Reciprocity find themselves once again in the lead. Young and Necrox, the 2 players you had talked about at the beginning of this match, Devin, in a clutch situation. See what they can manage. They're in decent spots. Young having made it in through the breach. He's in sight. He's got some control. And Necrox is coming up from behind. Here we go. Necrox gets Foxay. Position's given away, though, and one from Arcade Stairs. That's Laxing. Will get that kill. Now it's just Young. He gets 1. That's the guy in small office. He's got to hear the guy to his right. Probably accounting for that. Flash goes out to counter the push. But he's being kind of pinned in this corner. He'll have to make a play. He makes the play, sees the enemy, and wins the fight. Now a 1 versus 1, but it's vertical of all people. This is going to be difficult for Young, but he could easily win this if he plays it right. Vertical, trying to play it passive. He knows he has to hold up for 25 seconds. That's not an easy task. The drone will give information to Young. Here's the mark, and now the push. Pre-fire does not land. Vertical playing very smart. Aware of his enemy's location. I don't think there's any stuns for Young. There's the pre-fire, and the fight goes to Young. No, it's a trade! And the attackers will win by default? But...
Okay.
Technically, the defense should win by default.
All right, well...
I
guess that's what the game decided. I believe generally the rule was the defense wins because the diffuser's not planted.
Yeah, the rule is if the diffuser's planted, then it goes to the attack if it's a trade on the 1v1. And then if the diffuser's not planted, it goes to the defense. That is my understanding of the rules.
Well, I mean, unless the admins want to contest it, that's the way the game decided it, so...
All right, then.
All right, well, that was...
Maybe we're poorly informed, Devin. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's the way logically it should work as well, but at the same time, you know, like well played by Young in terms of fighting that the way he did. Really shouldn't have been re-peeked by Vertical, honestly. He should have pulled back around the corner he was at and just baited Young into him or forced him to try and go for the plant with down at the 0-0. So maybe could have been played a little bit better. Probably should have been decided in the favor of the defenders, but hey, we're not admins. That's what the game said, so we move on at 1-1. We go downstairs.
If the game makes it so, then the game makes it so, and we're that's life, and we're just gonna go ahead and roll with it, I guess. Reciprocity don't seem to want to contest it, I guess. I mean, they're probably as confused as we are, but I don't know. Like, I'd like someone to definitely clarify that for me. But last I checked, the rule was very different than what we're actually seeing the result be. Whatever. Such is life. Reciprocity going to go to the throne room. So we were talking about this site. This is some people think this is the most viable bomb site, or the most ideal bomb site for the defenders to go to. There's mixed opinions though. I've heard some people say that they don't like it as much as, say, Initiation, for example. But I don't know. What do you think, Devin?
I think it comes down to those hard walls and the difficulty in dealing with both of them, and if you don't deal with both of them. I think Reaper had a pretty good video breaking it down, specifically on Throne Room, just some of the problems in dealing with it. I think was a good example, just kind of showing that utility-wise, spreading yourself across the map-wise, if a good roam is played, it's very hard to contest, because you've got to take top floor control to make anything work, because trying to play it horizontally downstairs is almost a suicide mission sometimes, unless you get really lucky. So that's the difficulty, is efficiently clearing the top floor without losing any people, but that's not going to happen. Fox takes 1. And then being able to open up walls downstairs. So all that combined, it makes it a tricky site. It's not impossible, but it's certainly difficult to attack.
So what I noticed from the get-go is that Reciprocity are set up very wide on their roam. They're all over the place, just roaming wherever they can. So they're not going for your typical throne setup. They've even opened up some of these walls into throne through the barrels wall, for example. It's very different than what we're used to seeing, I guess. Or, well, I see different than what we're used to seeing. It's new compared to ranked, for example. But there's not a lot of comp to really pull on for that. So yeah, this is a neat little setup. I like what we're seeing from Reciprocity. It makes sense. The reasoning behind it, I suppose, is that this is a really difficult map to clear the roamers on. And if you lean into that as a defensive team, then, I mean, yeah, you can just control so much and then delay the attack so much that they're not going to be able to get to the site in time.
Well, we'll see if they can speed things up a little bit more, if they can catch a few players off guard. But the fact that they're already down a man and weren't able to trade back even any damage on the players of Reciprocity is not great here for EG. They did show some potential last round, and the fact that some of the walls are soft may actually work out in the attacker's favor depending on how the defender's position. But the fact that they're really not controlling a ton of the map here is not great. They do manage to put some pressure on, but if they can't hit those shots, Spades is really just not doing much, and he's actually taking damage in the process.
going to be really big for EG. The fact that they're able to get this wall open, but Necrox has made a mistake. He not effectively tricked the wall, and so... Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. Spades would have to use a lifeline since Mo is dead, and I don't know if Spades is anywhere near. But it's going to slow down Evil Geniuses quite substantially. Foxay will get Necrox, and elsewhere, Vertical's going to get one for himself. MVK and Young on the entry, though, will get site control. MVK has to cover while Young plants. It's likely to come close to 000, but it's actually not going to hit 000. So there doesn't have to be an all... Oh, no! Young faked it! He faked. He got off the plant. Now MVK has to cover, and he's down, which means this is a no-win scenario, but he gets the plant down anyway, and he'll get the first kill, nearly the second, but Laxing will clean that up just barely. A beautiful clutch from Laxing, coming in with just a little bit of HP and winning that round out.
A little bit of flub on the aggression there, getting the C4 kill on your teammate, but I imagine some of that was just some splash damage coming in as the gunfights were happening. But either way, we're seeing kind of the same pattern over and over again, where you've got the roamers like Fox and Vertical and Laxing able to really do their jobs and spread across the map. Just not great map control coming out from EG. And then the retakes are coming out from those roamers very, very effectively. You know, the attackers from EG are able to get into sight, but every single time, Reciprocity just comes home for the kill. And it seems to be working pretty... I mean, technically, in a way, it worked that second round as well. So it's so difficult to deal with those three, Fox, Laxing, and Vertical. Slash and... why am I blanking on Bio are not maybe faring as well, and that's part of the reason that site's being taken, is that those two on site aren't really as effective as they would like to be, and maybe site's being left a little too open. But with the roams working, at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter as long as, you know, Fox and Vertical are able to get those initial kills.
Really, the biggest thing for me is that right there at the end, that was just such a mess. Like, because they had such a high roamer count, Reciprocity barely had site control. So Evil Geniuses walk in through a free angle, get 2 kills, and then suddenly site control for Evil Geniuses. But there's a little time. And I'm thinking, okay, well, he's going to be able to get that plant down pretty easy because they've got plenty of time. And even if it hits 000, the diffuser can get picked up by MBK. But Young faked it for some reason, and then suddenly EG's in a really bad spot because they have to restart their plant cycle, and that is going to hit 000. And then even so, the C4 team kill, and then like just goes into chaos.
Yeah.
Awkward.
I mean, it's definitely not ideal. When you're retaking, you don't want to be killing your teammates and splashing damage everywhere. But as long as you win, because Young had to be on the diffuser, like you said, he faked it and had to be on it, that left them in a situation where, unfortunately, they were essentially a man down because of that. So that's not great. A lot of drones being set up here. There is at least a Mozzie to try and help. Oh, it's the Evil Eye, I think, that's taken about. There's a Mozzie drone as well. Jumping on out. Didn't need to be.
Did you see that? Yeah, because... Okay, so I do this too, actually. When I first get on a drone as a Mozzie, after I hack it, I press spacebar immediately, make it jump. But because it was looking the wrong direction, Mozzie just jumped his own drone to its death. That's hilarious.
Well, it's still one drone down either way.
Typically what you do is, as an attacker, you jump your drone right after it gets hacked, because you still have control. But you saw that it was tried. Mo tried to jump it, I think it was Mo, and then it hit the wall. This is a push from Mozzie, and ill-advised as NVK will shut him down. Laxing now gone, and that's one potential C4 less. As another one for EG, and a third. Necrox on the entry with some big firepower. There's some fight back here for Foxay, but that's it as Vertical misses his shots. Foxay will now have to ace clutch. Not going to be an easy job in a 1v4. A very explosive take into the site for Evil Geniuses, and an excellent job at getting that diffuser down. A lifeline from Spades going to slow down Foxay even more. He really has no choice here. He's going to try and vault up on top of yellow, get his way back into the vault. He'll get one. That's his second, of course, for total. He's got to fight 2 crossfires right now, and he's only got a little bit of HP. It's not likely to happen. He has down Spades, but he can pick himself up. That's a Zofia, and it's not going to matter as Mo peeks wide and gets the final kill. That was too close of a call for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, their consistency in taking site is really good. I mean, the fact that they've been able to take site every single round, regardless of which site it is pretty strong. It's their ability to hold the site afterwards with enough men left That seems to be a bit more problematic, and you saw what happened when they were able to do so that round. When they had man advantage and sight, they were able to win it fine because Fox has limited rotations back in. His rotation through that yellow rotate into the vault itself gets a little predictable. Still actually got away with it, surprisingly. But at the end of the day, if EG can just not lose min on their initial map control and their take of the site and continue to dominate the site itself, I think they could come with a favorable attack half here, because Reciprocity are maybe overextending their roams a little too much, and the site defenders just honestly aren't holding site effectively, which is surprising. Maybe opening up throne room maybe isn't the play so much, just because you open up too much of it, and then it's about that sort of retake strategy when you could really bunker a lot of people there. I understand they're afraid of that vertical control backfiring, and they want to hold vertical top floor as long as possible. They want to make sure that that they're not just sitting ducks in sight. But maybe they need to rotate back a little bit sooner so it's not always a retake.
The thing that's impressing me most about that last round was Evil Genius's ability to entry into A, and then Reciprocity's inability to do anything about it or to respond to it after it had already happened. There was just a lackluster performance, I guess, from Reciprocity, because it was multiple different things that went wrong. But Evil Geniuses never took their foot off the gas, and you got to be impressed by that confidence. It's something. As a C4 prep hole, I guess? Maybe? Possibly? Looks like one.
Could even just throw them off.
Yeah, too. It could slow them down, for sure.
I like to do that actually just for sound purposes, so you could hear them near the hatch easier.
Yeah, you could do that too. Definitely a great option if that's what you're going for. Look at how long this pest is delaying the team, by the way.
Stacked up again.
And there's the jump trick. Yeah, so this is what we're talking about. It's very useful, and it's totally worth it to use one of your fraggers' drones. Like, let's say you have your entry, use this drone and sacrifice it. That means that the supports aren't losing out on anything, and you don't lose out on too much time searching for the pest. It's definitely worth it. Oh, that could have been bad there. Or biologic, but ADS does save him from any damage. Oh, that's a tight angle, and Slash will miss it. Bad shot there. But he does do some damage to Spades, but no headshot. The second one did not land, so Spades is still in the fight. But yeah, at least he did manage to do something to Evil Geniuses.
Well, so far a minute and a half in, and they're pretty close to taking site again if Slash can't hold this off. This is the point where I'd like to see roamers start to rotate back to site and flank the attackers, because they're pretty stacked up right now.
I mean, we've got 4 people on the attacking side coming from the cache room. So this is a pretty one-dimensional attack. I wonder where the 5th is. It's MVK. He's coming up from yellow stairs, so he's going to attempt to flank. And as MVK comes up from behind, the rest of Evil Geniuses will start to push. Spades will get downed by Slash on a long angle, that very same angle we saw Slash challenging earlier. Doesn't seem like he's aware of it, though, and he's going to be able to pick himself up. Spades back into the fight, but he can't really get too aggressive because of his low HP. Buck down by the shotgun of Biologic. He gets even further aggressive as he pushes into Bathroom. This is an unwinnable scenario for Spades, and he'll go down as well. Possibly a third for Bio as he continues to hold on to the Bathroom, but he'll actually fall back. A smart play from Bio. He could have gotten too aggressive and lost his life there. NVK is going to get laxing on his yellow stairs flank, but at this point it might not matter. The hammer and anvil strategy only works if you have an anvil to hammer. But right now, NVK is just waiting for some more opportunities to present themselves, and they're not going to do that. Team Reciprocity playing this too smart. Necroc's going to eat some damage. Z attempts to push in. The initiation push not working out great as Slash is there to stop it cold. And NVK, known, read, and finished off by Foxay. Team Reciprocity will take an excellent round on initiation.
Definitely a lot of that came down to Slash and Bio doing a much better job holding site. They got 2 kills each with shotguns, whether it be the TCSG or the pump. But still, that made a huge difference. They did lose one of the roamers early on with laxing, but because the site players were able to just hold a nice tight perimeter and essentially funnel the attackers into them, like at this point knowing that EG go straight for site early on, they were able to take advantage of that, and well done by both of them. That was such a good turnaround in terms of like much, much better hold. If they could keep doing that, that could work out very well for them. This will be their last defense, though, either way. They will be going down to Drug Lab, and they're trying to hide that a little bit, I think, with the Castle 6th pick. So we'll see what the strategy is here. This is a trickier site to hold in some ways. You, again, need vertical control. You've got to worry about Cafe above you and dealing with trying to hold that drug lab itself. And then the window on drug storage can also be pretty difficult. It has been moved, so it's in a slightly different position, a little bit better of a 90-degree angle. I imagine Bio probably going to open up that soft wall right there that usually gets opened up anyways, and then have the Evil Eye able to look over onto that window if necessary, or into the rest of the drug lab. So some good utility they can use here, some good positioning they can take advantage of. Castle barricades, though, I'd like to see where those end up.
Well, we'll see, I suppose. Let's see if we can follow Slash around and actually like track that, because it is very relevant where they actually end up getting placed. He just placed his first one. I can hear it, but I don't know where. Oh, okay. It was over by like the barrels windows or something.
5 seconds to go.
I think it was the barrels or the main lobby window.
Yeah, stopping some of the entry.
Heading out to defuse a bomb.
Something like that, yeah. And then he's got his second one down. I didn't see where that one went. And then, looks like
I can understand the arcade lobby window being a really good one.
Yeah.
Just make sure you can roam in that area for a while.
The third one's going over by... That was Throne Room. It was definitely Throne Room facing towards Dragon. I didn't see where the second one went, though. That one, I definitely have no idea. Anyway. Yeah, it is very relevant where they get placed, because you could place your castle barricades in a way that actually doesn't help you at all on the defense if you don't read the attack well.
Just look at casual.
Wait, what? Just look at casual what? Yeah, we'll take a gander at casual, then we know where to put our castle barricades.
Right.
Genius.
Jackal getting some tracking going, though.
See
Necrox on the skin.
the problem there, Devin, is that you're assuming anybody plays castle in casual. It's like, I don't remember any match I've ever played in casual where he gets played, and I'm sure it happens, but I don't personally remember any. Anyway, Evil Geniuses, they've got control of Dragon. That's a pretty powerful position to have. Evil Eye spotted out there by Spades. He'll call that out to his team. I'm not sure if he's going to do anything about it, but he knows it's there now. And that's actually a really easily opened wall. I'm surprised that didn't get impact tricked. There's potentially quite a lot of impacts on Reciprocity right now. None of them, though, being brought, I suppose, or at least being played over by Throne, and that's a wall open because of that. I think the barrels wall is also open, though, and the defenders, the roamers, are in barrels, so they might be using that to their advantage. Foxay gets one, challenging for the second. The long angle from Valkyrie misses. Slash will get NVK, though. Somehow Buck has made his way in, and Mo is looking to use this angle to the best of his ability, but the teapot prevents Foxay from getting the headshot, and Spades will get 2 kills because of that. Beautiful job from Spades. Evil Geniuses with sight control. You can see the immediate contact way that they're playing this around Throne. They still have to get to the actual bomb site. Slash is going to be holding on to that angle from barrels, so the rotation's made, but fully held for Team Reciprocity. Spades, despite getting those 2 earlier, can't get any more, and Necrox will be failed in the hallway. Reciprocity, a great hold of Lab, and a weird take for Evil Geniuses.
They really, both teams were treating Throne Room as the key to Drug Lab. I mean, it was definitely, both teams really focused on holding that. And Fox, unfortunately, his shot missing definitely cost them a little bit. But at the end of the day, it was just, it cost them so much to get control of Throne Room that at the end of the day, they just didn't have enough manpower left to push the actual site.
Yeah, because they spent so much time clearing out Dragon. And I think, it could have been even compounded by those impacts like I was talking about, but I guess it doesn't really matter in the end, as long as you get the progress you want. And the defense did win that round. And I'll be honest, I'm looking at this right now, and it's a 4-2. Reciprocity, a really good first half. I'm pretty sure that one round was a bug. But since there's not been a ruling on it, I guess we just move on.
Maybe Reciprocity is like, we're going to win anyway, so no biggie.
Oh, imagine. I think probably, Devin, they're just as confused as we were.
Probably.
Because I know that the actual, I'm almost 100% sure.
Pretty sure that's not the first time this happened either. I'm pretty sure I remember that happening once before.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure that the logic that is meant to be used is if you have the diffuser planted, attack wins on the trade. If the diffuser's not planted, defense wins on the trade. Diffuser wasn't planted, attack won. But I don't know if that is a bug or if that maybe got reverted. I really don't know. But either which way about it, we're in a situation where Evil Geniuses now going on to defense, they have put themselves in an okay spot. because they have 2 rounds. They're not out of this. If they had lost any more rounds, then it would have been really dangerous.
And it'd be an interesting attack as well here. We saw Laxing acting like he was going to go on Dokkaebi to deal with the roamers. Instead, actually, Six picked over to the Nook, so he's going to be trying to go for that super creep around the map to try and sneak his way in. And then Slash actually playing the Sledge that we were used to seeing Fox playing. So he's instead going to be on the IQ. So they're changing things up a little bit here. The Maverick, the one to come out, I got to imagine they're prepared for a throne room attack, as that is often the primary for good reason. And Maverick is quite good at dealing with that. In the meantime, though, just trying to figure out, probably trying to help Laxing get in as well. And he's running for himself also, because he doesn't want to expose himself. Does spot the Mozzie. NVK just peeking through what is likely a bullet hole. Possibly going to get shot in the back of the head.
I think that Spade's actually the Valkyrie. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, these skins get crazy.
I know, I was about to say it's exactly that. It's hard to tell because of the skins sometimes.
You're right. I think you're right, but it looks pretty close to Mozzie's.
And he'll be pushed back, actually. The repellent from Laxing must have been heard by Spades. And oh yeah, that's Spades. He's getting lit up on just about 20 HP. Will die to a single bullet at this point. Doesn't seem like Laxing's aware of the exact location of his opponent. But he's still there to hunt. And there goes Biologic elsewhere in a different engagement entirely. The Mozzie's there to support Spades now. Laxing going for the engagement. It looks like it's been a drop and he's not aware. Ooh, opportunity missed for Vertical. He does a lot of damage to Modiga, but he doesn't get the kill. There is a little bit of damage exchange. Mode managed to get a single shot into the torso of Vertical as well. And that's worth keeping in mind. Good angle opened up there by Vertical. Oh, we'll get Vertical, though, as he rotates into Maintenance Hall. Ill-advised rotation by Vertical. And now, Evil Geniuses, 2 men up. Yes, 2 on low HP, but still in firm control of this round at this point.
Fortunately, they're also very well spread out. Like Reciprocity, individually just giving up bodies here and there. Not great. I mean, a lot of the low health at least will help them if they get into these serious gunfights towards the end, but the inability for Biologic to finish his job is also going to hamper them quite a bit.
There's another one finished off. NVK gets that kill. And another for him. Slash against everyone on Evil Geniuses. He's got to find an ace clutch. A 1v5 to win this. He obviously got that one by Dragon. Looking for the second. The hat over by Throne Room. Somebody on Connector. He knows that from the Tracers. He's got to expect somebody to his right. This is an unwinnable situation, mind you. But he's going to try. You got to put in the old effort. And there you go. Spades finishes it off. Last kill for him. And Evil Geniuses will take the first defensive round of the second half.
Well, good attempt there, but overall, again, too spread out. Too many jobs missed in terms of like the Maverick dying early was going to cost them because then they're forced through those doorways. You saw Slash trying to contest later on. And just the Nook roam around, it didn't work out. Had he been able to get the kill, for example, onto Spades, I believe it was, maybe that would have helped. They would have had some man advantage. But they were so spread out from each other, they weren't really able to set up for trades. They were just getting picked off kind of one at a time by the roamers that they just didn't seem to have good intel as well. I mean, other than Spades getting spotted by Laxing and then uncapitalized on, really, other than some fire through the soft wall, they weren't really able to do a whole lot as a team. And that's what they're going to need to improve this round, is just making sure they have a little bit better tighter. But they're going to be fighting the top floor, so they don't have to worry as much about roamers, but there's still going to be some for sure.
Yeah, probably could have seen Laxing get droned in. I think that was probably, in my opinion, that was the biggest problem. Nobody was droning in Laxing, so he wasn't able to, with confidence, make a play. And Laxing is a really smart player, so he's not going to just like haphazardly throw his body at the problem. I'm sure probably waiting for someone to come and drone him in, but that just didn't happen at any point. Imagine he gets droned in, he gets those 2 kills on the roamers upstairs. Very different round.
Yeah. He is switching with a better operator this time, though, to be able to, the one he was faking off of, to be able to help counter those roamers that still will be here.
Oh yeah, look at that. Laxing actually seems like we're on the same page here. Laxing's gonna bring the Dokkaebi so he can, he or someone else can just at any moment call for that, and it's gonna be very helpful. NVK will miss his shot. Fox A will not. And Vertical will put on low HP, but that's still obviously a favorite for Reciprocity. Yeah, anyway,
not the best play.
Yeah, not the best play, I guess. It's a pretty predictable run out. This is still kind of a newish map, but still it's a predictable and known run out. He did a good job of prepping the door, but anyway, the thing I was trying to talk about there was actually, you know what I lost? I don't even remember. There was like something. There was something relevant, but it no longer is. So life moves on, I suppose. Gotta be too quick with these things.
I gotta wonder if
Reciprocity.
Laxing's gonna take advantage of hacking NVK's phone as well. That's left outside now.
I bet you could. You can definitely bet that's gonna happen. Laxing's also gonna get spades, so he'll have 2 phones to hack. Not that hacking redundant phones does anything for you on the attacking side. Droning into initiations, the next task for Team Reciprocity. Foxay is going to wait a little bit on that attempt as he gets the information. He knows the Jaeger's there, but he does not want to challenge just willy-nilly. He will wait for a better set-up system before executing there. Flash won't, but Foxay will. Mo will take down Slash, and not great for Reciprocity. It brings Evil Geniuses effectively back in this round.
There goes the phone getting hacked. Now they will have access to those black eyes that are still left, as well as any default cams they haven't shot yet, so that will help a little bit. But there's no Maestro Evil Eyes they could take advantage of, but they are going to at least see what they can get intel-wise, and there's a default cam still up, so...
I mean, the biggest thing about hacking cameras, honestly, is that it gets the defenders to shoot them. So, like, all of the relevant cameras that will see the defenders will only see them first and second, like we just witnessed. And then, yeah, and then you're going to lose them because the defenders have to shoot them, and then that means the defenders have less info. So, yeah, you get some info, but mostly you're just hampering the defender's info. Now, this is big. A defender has managed to make it to the top of Dragon Stairs. Now, I don't know who that is, but oh, he's dead. Waxing holding on to the flank, and Necrox, apparently, who was on that flank, unable to do anything. I was going to say that could be really impactful, but no. Oh, what a pre-fire from Biologic, and Mo goes down. Vertical on low HP, but he's still only got 1 to contest with. It's Young with a C4 onto Foxay. Beautiful chill there. Gotta find 3 more. Plant coming down from Biologic. No more C4 to deny that. He must know where the plant's going down, but he can't use his C4 because it doesn't exist. Assuming that was a drone shot out there by Young. The rotation here will be caught by Vertical. Team Reciprocity. A solid round there.
Definitely, I got to credit some of that to Laxing pulling off kills with the DMR that you don't always get. Like, the DMR can be difficult to get kills inside the building with. I mean, it's great for holding angles outside, but it's tricky because the fire rate's not necessarily the best unless you're just crazy tap firing that thing with, you know, for a bit of recoil. But on the upside, at least it can open wooden barricades a lot easier now, which is definitely a blessing. Makes it a little more viable.
Did they buff the DMRs to opening wooden barricades?
Oh yeah, that was one of those nice quality of life changes in the DLC patch that it makes a huge difference for the few people that play DMRs. In this case, Dogby doesn't have a choice.
I'm guessing it's like Glaz-esque now.
I think it takes about like 6 or 7 shots, but then it's like, but you could also break hatches now pretty easily with it.
Right, it's better than it used to be. That's the
by far, definitely. Because before it used to, I feel like it used to take like a clip and a half or 2. Just it was barricade. It was ridiculous.
It was something like it was along the same lines as like a normal assault rifle. And if you ever done that, it's like it's about most of your mag. So it's not comfortable. I'd say about 20 bullets or so, something like that, maybe less. I haven't actually counted it myself, but usually what I do is I spray around 20 at a barricade, reload right before I hit that mark, and then have a full mag. Last 2 bullets go in, and then you can enter. That's usually that's how you do that quick break, but. Yeah, it is much better now with the DMR. That's great. And people who can hit their shots with that DMR are, I mean, it's a really powerful weapon if you can master it. And Laxing's definitely one of those players.
Well, hopefully they'll do a little better this round on this defense. They're trying bunks again, but this time NBK not going to run out and sacrifice himself. That's already a better start here for EG on this defense. But they are close to match point, so they really need to kind of play a little more careful in terms of not throwing bodies away early and make sure they have a solid roam, because I think part of the key to this map is having a really good roam, but not overdoing it. Reciprocity definitely treaded that line.
That's why you gotta bring that sledge, get that efficiency on the soft destruction. He's got 25 charges. You very rarely see him use all of them, but, you know, it's a lot. There are going to be more roamers this time for Evil Geniuses because, as you said, Devin, they're not going to sacrifice NVK early into the round. Foxay gets in quick. Oof. Not necessarily risky, but very aggressive. The drone was just barely getting control of 90. He's going to start challenging into cash, looking for some opponents to fight, but he's waiting for his teammates to drone him. Foxay is a very patient, calculated player, trying not to take too many risks. You saw, he only peeked into initiation, or rather into control, after his teammate had called that initiation was clear. You saw the drone right ahead of him. And he did just see that mute, maybe. No, I don't think he did, actually. It might be, so keep in mind, the spectator sees things slightly differently than the players do. possible he didn't see the mute, but it looks like he's been droned out. The aggressive play is going to put Biologic on low HP, so Necrox could work something from this. With the shotgun in the bathroom, he is really hard to get out of that corner. But he will be got out of. That's, well, he's been dealt with. That's surprising to me. Looks like it was a nade, I believe, from Biologic. And then Slash was there to catch him as he attempted to rotate away from the nade. Necrox not getting anything other than a little bit of time wasted.
Good taking advantage of the nades Maverick now has. And it's funny because that was a bathroom that both Biologic and Slash were taking advantage of themselves before when they were fighting on this defense. Slash, though, fighting another one, finally finding some decent kills here as he's been struggling a little bit this match.
That's a really important frags there for sure because we're on the precipice of match point. Looks like we've been plagued with the mute jammer bug. And it happens. Luckily, it won't affect the player's gameplay, and they don't hear this. It's just us. It's, you know, client by client. Reciprocity in a significant lead right now. Evil Geniuses doing their best to rebuff, but their highest HP player is off-site. That's Spades, which means Young and Modiga are going to die very easily on this entry. Hopefully, for Evil Geniuses' sake, they can take at least one with them. And they've done exactly that. There you go. Spades and Young picking up big kills there. Reciprocity now have to further consider how they want to enter here. And with only 15 seconds to go, that's not a great position to be in. Comes the push. It must happen now, if ever. There's Spades from the main stairs, and he's going to put up a fight, slow down this even further. Young gets his second. That's huge. And he's now alive. All he needs to do is wait in the corner, and he's going to win it on time. 1 second more, and Reciprocity would have had it, but not so. Young, a great holdout at the very end.
Big problem, of course, was all the damage done to Biologic. And yeah, he got his job done as Maverick even with that. Looks like we're going to rehost real quick. But the problem is he was carrying the diffuser. You don't have the man with like 2 HP carry the diffuser because you see what happens. He gets dropped in sight. Yeah, he was counting on Slash to cover him, who obviously had more health. But at the same time, it's risky to do that. You need to switch it to someone that has full health, and then also someone being covered, cover him with full health, because if it gets dropped in sight like that, you see what happens. He then has to go for a gunfight.
Yeah, it's a difficult spot to be in for sure. So we're going to be going for a rehost really quickly to fix the mute bug. Again, it doesn't affect the gameplay of the players, so you can rest assured that through that last round, everyone could hear things. So it's not a big problem for them. But of course, it's not fun for us if we have to listen to it all the time. So we'll re-input those settings, get the round count correct, all the operator bands, stuff like that, and then we'll just get right back into the match as soon as we can. It'll take a little while, but we'll have this time to reflect on the interesting action we've had so far through this match.
Yeah, I'm curious on your thoughts on the theme park meta so far from what you've seen.
So, on defense, we're seeing a lot of open angles, especially from Reciprocity. Prioritization on roaming and delaying as long as possible. The closest comparison I can draw is to the Villa meta. So there's going to be a lot of experimentation on what's appropriate to open and what's not appropriate to open. To me, I'm picking up like Villa vibes minus the basement. That's probably how I would describe this best. And of course, it's a very different map, so don't confuse me saying that with like, oh, he thinks it's the same as Villa. I don't think that. I think that the way that you're going to see the defense and attack, in some cases, play is similar to what we will see on Villa. For example, when Evil Geniuses were attacking onto Initiation, they were coming exclusively from Cache. Now, I think probably the most similar comparison I can draw is to a study attack onto Aviator for Villa. Because that's what are you doing? You're taking control of study and the staircase, and then you're going to push into the site. It's a very simple attack strategy and one that's not often utilized in competitive anymore, but you still see it prevalent in ranked. And it was where we started in competitive when Villa first came out, and that's how things always happen. Get those strategies that begin in comp are adopted by ranked players, and then as comp evolves, rank, slowly evolves, but not as quickly, so things come up eventually. So if you want to know what meta was like on Villa way back in the day, you can just look to like diamond-ish elo in ranked these days, and that was probably comp meta like a year ago. Anyway, the comparison I was trying to draw was that study attack on an Aviator, when and you can put that almost directly right up against the Initiation attack from Cache. You take control of Cache from a balcony, take control of study from a balcony, you get control of the staircase directly to the left, and then you attack the bomb site. It's not identical, but it's similar. So, and you know, there's other comparisons to be drawn at other parts of the map, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I like theme park. I think it's got a lot to show us still, and I'm very excited for when we get past this very simple meta we fired ourselves in with theme park currently, get into the more advanced stuff, and of course that'll happen probably. I'd say next season would probably be around then. Do you think that makes sense, Evan?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think too if it's likely that Oryx, for example, would have some decent play on here. There are some hatches, but I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's. I mean, I have to go through and look at it and see if there's like a lot of really critical like rotate up hatches. Unfortunately, it's not a 3-floor map. I mean, he's still good on 2-floor maps, but 3-floor he can really just kind of come out of nowhere and be less likely to be droned out. But still might be something because he will likely be playable. You know, during that time when you're saying the meta will be somewhat forming or finish forming. So.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we're only gonna find out when we find out, right? It's all guesswork for now. But I'm excited to see how theme park plays out. I know a lot of people don't like it. I think those people are, you know, some of them are just opinionated. But others, like when it comes to like if we're talking about competitive siege, maps in the map pool. We have to deal with it, right? Whether or not you like it, you gotta adopt it. You got to start practicing and getting used to it. And I'm liking what we're seeing from these teams here and now, where they are bringing out stuff that they've clearly practiced for this map. I really appreciate that because even I'm sure there's some players in this team in these teams in this match that don't like theme park, but they're pulling out all the stops. They're proving themselves professionals and they're practicing a map that is, you know, that has varying opinions upon. Or on it. And I don't know why I can't English right now, but we do have the match ready right now, so we should be able to get back into it very shortly. We just have to check that all the settings are correct before we can actually transition back into it, make sure all the round counts are correct, make sure the sides are correct, the sight rotation, yada, yada, yada. And then once we know everything's right, we can go ahead and get back into the action. But it's already transpiring, and we should be able to right about now.
Well, looks like we're going back to Throne here, so we'll see how that goes out. So far, you know, that's worked out for EG. They won at the one time. And then, of course, they lost Bunks, but won at once. So far, Bunks has been kind of their only weakness, but they've only played 3 rounds on defense. So we'll see Laxing trying a different anti-roam operator here. He's going to go with the Jackal this time, hoping that he can at least catch some of those footprints. He did get some utility out of hacking cams and Dokkaebi, but maybe he's going to be more effective on the Jackal. We did see Necrox also bringing out the Jackal towards the end of their attacks. So it's definitely something that's pretty good on this map. Any map where you're going to have to be dealing with roamers. It was interesting that EG's strategy of dealing with roamers was, well, let's just go take site and then fight against their retake. Whereas it seems like Reciprocity are a little more keen on hunting those roamers down.
Yeah, that was definitely there's a strong difference between the two teams. You know, that close contact and just hit the site from Evil Geniuses versus Reciprocity. I think being more, I don't know, like, would you call that, I mean, it's a separate methodology entirely, but
5 seconds to go.
I don't know which one I would call being more thorough, right? Like, is it Team Reciprocity who's more thorough because they're trying to hunt down the roamers, or is it Evil Geniuses who are more thorough because they have a much more tight controlled attack strategy?
Well, I honestly kind of like what EG is doing because of the 20-second meta you were talking about earlier. They're not playing into that as much.
That's fair. That is an excellent assessment. I mean, it has been to the detriment of many teams try and do too many things in the round because they're used to being able to do it, but they can't because there's so much information hampering going on, like with the mute and the Mozzie, for example. I don't know. I mean, it's a complicated equation for sure. And, you know, some teams have better mastery over it than others. But, yeah, Evil Geniuses weren't worried as much about time, I guess, as Reciprocity could possibly be. We'll see. I mean, we haven't
seen C4 go off?
I don't know. Maybe it was Impact.
That sounded like an early C4. It might have been Impact, yeah.
I didn't hear it clearly, so I'll leave that one up to you. But I'm probably an Impact. No, it was a C4. You were right. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. It was MVK C4.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't hit anyone. You see no damage on Reciprocity, so...
I think it was supposed to be onto one of the drops on the roof. Because the drop on the roof was open, and that's right around where MVK was, so... Yeah, not that one, but the other one, actually. The one in the hallway. I'm pretty sure he was standing in the hallway, threw it over. We should be able to see there's the explosive residue. You can see it, kind of, a little bit. He did throw a C4 onto the roof.
Well, he's trying to contest the hatch still.
Yep. An initiation defense right now for Team Evil Geniuses, I guess. Team Reciprocity, or not initiation, rather Throne. So the top down and tripped me up. I guess I'm just completely wrong there. The attack is coming in through Workshop Hall, and the wall has been opened. Better Maverick tricking from Biologic here. What we've seen previously in this match, I believe it was Necrox on the Maverick. He did not get that wall open when he was there last.
Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle for them. Bio's been pretty efficient at it.
He's been doing a good job.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Attack's not fully fleshed out yet. That was a dangerous vault from Slash, but he gets away with it. That's just that's just a spectator bug, just so you know. C4 misses. Nade goes in from Slash. It will land. Young down on the floor. Teammates in the past, now at odds with each other. Long angle being played from Spades. He'll get Slash. And what an angle from MVK. Aggressive. Manages to keep Young alive a little bit longer. Reciprocity, 2 men down here. Young is salvageable, but there goes Spades on a long angle. Young's back into the fight, though, so it's kind of an exchange of sorts. MVK eliminated by Throne. I wonder if they're aware of Young having been picked up. He's definitely going to be an important player in the coming engagement. Not much time for Reciprocity. They really have to hop to it if they want to get this site control. Modiga hits a really nice shot. There goes Young, but it's not going to matter. The 000 hits. Evil Geniuses win on time.
Very big contrast to the way that Reciprocity defended it. Most of the men just played it in Throne Room. I think maybe almost everyone was essentially in sight that match, except for, they roamed early and then rotated back, but they weren't as concerned with just playing a heavy roam the way Reciprocity were and then retaking. They were really focused on holding the site. And I mean, Reciprocity thinks, okay, we've got shooting fish in a barrel sort of thing, but there's so many different positions they had to fight, so many different angles. You saw the one player in blue, for example, just kept peeking, so they couldn't come around on the Maestro without risking it. You saw him die on the trade in the end, just going to kill that Maestro. Because of all the different angles being played and the limited avenues of entrance for Reciprocity, they just ended up being the ones who ultimately got felled. And then NBK's aggressive peak as well, that he had the aggressive angle. It's just, when you play a lot of scrims on Throne and you really practice those angles, you can really be in a pretty good position as long as you have great communication and good game sense on where players are coming from attack-wise. It's hard to fight that, and that right there was part of the reason people are so afraid of Throne Room, was that kind of attack failing. But at the end of the day, I mean, Reciprocity had great success with theirs as well, their particular strategy. So it's really kind of 2 different ways to play it. You can see that was more of like a clubhouse church kind of hold.
Yeah, you could look at it that way. It was an interesting one, and I mean, not interesting. That's the wrong word. I'm using the wrong word for that. It was standard. It was bog standard. Just basically, Evil Geniuses waited it out. Reciprocity.
5 seconds to go.
They needed more, I guess, indirect ways to get picks to make anything happen, but that's done now. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We see a little bit of split meta on the defense. You've got Castle, Goyo, Mute. No Mozzie, but that means you double down on information for Evil Geniuses by bringing a Pulse into Valkyrie. So you've got the best of both worlds, I guess. I'm not so sure
There's
about...
a demo for you.
Yeah. I'm not so sure about the... so it is kind of more like Glaz DMR. Anyway, I'm not so sure about the Mute instead of the Mozzie. I think I probably would have brought Mozzie, but I mean... They are going to be able to deny walls with the Mute as well, so that's worth noting. There is no hard destruction on Reciprocity, apart from the Maverick, who doesn't care about Mute Jammers. So, but you better safe than sorry if you're Evil Geniuses, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it ends up going in terms of whether or not those Mute Jammers are successful. But Laxing, again, going to be successful with the DMR.
Yeah, he's been putting up big numbers with that DMR for sure. Very, I'd say that's the right pick for him in terms of weaponry, as he's been making it work for him. The Reciprocity in the lead. They're not sure where they want to attack from. You can see the contrast between theirs and Evil Genius's strategy on this site. Reciprocity's clearing out those roamers. They're going for a little bit more of a, across the board clear, rather than just all coming in through cache. In fact, cache looks more like a flank route than an actual attack strategy.
We'll see once they get a little bit deeper in. It's only the first minute and a half. They're just trying to, at this point, find some of the players of Evil Geniuses to take out, and they did so on Spades, but I think they're hoping for probably at least one more pick before they start pressuring the site. But they've got shields to deal with, as you can see here from Vertical. He actually could potentially take those out, I believe, if he has any. I didn't see if he had any lifelines left, but at least he gets away with his life.
Yeah, I was about to say, really big deal that Young did not get that kill there. That's going to change a lot of how this round plays out for sure. But it's not the end of the world yet for Evil Geniuses. Just a missed opportunity to bring it back to even man count. Here comes the push in from Fox today. He's got bathroom control. This must have been drone. Necrox is going to get biologic though, possibly through the Maverick holes. He's the barrel of Young, holding the angle now, just waiting for Young to peek that out again. And there it is. But, oh, just barely getting that. That was scary for a second. But here come all the kills for Reciprocity, and suddenly it's just Mo in a 1v4. He's got to be asking himself, what happened to my team? Well, they're all dead. Reciprocity on the entry, doing great work. As they came into sight, it was an easy collapse. Slack single hold up the flank. He's been doing a great job at monitoring those flanks, and, well, Reciprocity go to match point, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that will be match point for Reciprocity, but honestly, I can see this coming down to a draw. Both teams playing well, and I mean, overall, a decent showing from Evil Geniuses today. Even if they go down here, I think they've been playing a little bit better than they have in this particular match. Like a lot more spread across the different players in terms of getting kills, getting things done, good cooperation. It's just Reciprocity seem a little bit more comfortable on this map. Like, you know, I mean, I liked what EG had on attack. Their defenses seem a little bit okay, like a little more wishy-washy though.
Yeah, I'd say that, I mean, I agree with you, first of all, from your first point there, is I think that Evil Geniuses are doing better here than they typically do in a Pro League match. They're playing much better than we're used to seeing. But as for their actual overall performance, I don't know. It's okay. I mean, we're seeing mistakes made by both teams right now. It's definitely one of those matches. But I would easily, like, I wouldn't say that reflects poorly on EG or Reciprocity. I'd say that more reflects on the map and their inexperience on this.
Oh, yeah.
Because as much as you're going to practice for it, technically this is still for like the first actual practical comp match for both these teams on Theme Park, if I'm not mistaken. Like in terms
of
Pro League.
Learning angles from each other.
Oh yeah, there's probably an abundance of angles being learned right now, and those are the sorts of things that can be easily, you know, made into a mistake. Is he, by the way, is he wearing the full Mozzie skin or just the? No, he's just wearing the gun skin. Okay, I was like, oh, I was kind of disappointed, honestly, that he's not wearing the new Mozzie skin. Have you seen it, Devin?
Yeah, I saw the picture of it where he was completely blended into a wall.
Wait, really? Is it that bad?
It was one particular wall. I don't know how bad it is overall. I just thought that was funny.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. Yeah, anyway, I was kind of hoping. I saw that he's using the pepperoni skin, but that's it. Anyway, what I was trying to get at, it was, yeah, it's a new map, and the angles are, you're gonna be making mistakes on your angles very often on new maps like this. And those can give away free kills here and there.
Well, definitely going to be down to angles here as they try and find each other. There's a lot of droning coming out as well. And still bringing the Dokkaebi to be able to make those phone calls as necessary as well. Bio's not going to have as much work to do this round.
Sounds like MVK has gotten a drone. More information now for Evil Genius. There's his drone. You can see it in the hallway. It'll be calling the push in from waiting room. Evil Genius is almost entirely on the anchor, but Bades is roaming underneath, so he can C4 from below if his team needs it. Reciprocity primarily clearing out from the east side. Almost, actually, I think that's all they're really doing. Is clearing from the east side. They might have someone on the roof right now, possibly looking to repel on the south. It's going to be a Maverick trick from Biologic. There is no other hard destructor, so it's the only way they're going to be able to get this open. One of the Goyo shields in the hallway dealt with. That's going to be better for Reciprocity since this was dealt with earlier on. There's still more layers to get through, of course, but that's a good start. That Goyo shield's going to be difficult because of the ADS.
Wall open now. Now it's time to find angles. That's what that droning is going to pay off. The tricky part is making the right call-outs on exactly where the players are positioned.
Absolutely. Those nades will need to follow the call-out. One thrown, but it might have been caught by an ADS. I didn't hear it explode. Evil Genius is just waiting. I mean, they don't need to do anything else. If they wait well enough, if they wait long enough, they'll just win. And it's looking like that might just happen. An aggressive peek from Necrox, but he gets away with his life. Ooh, Foxay knows he's got control. Good angle there, but he doesn't hit the shot. and he won't hit the shot against Necrox either. That's hallway control for Necrox and the first kill of this engagement. A follow-up kill from Necrox as he gets aggressive. There's a triple. A beautiful play. He just walks into waiting room and gets 3. Laxing will shut down NVK, but it's not really going to matter at this point. Reciprocity with some control and daycare, but that doesn't matter either. Evil Geniuses will clean it up, and a draw for these teams. 1 point to each off of a beautiful play from Necrox.
Fantastic play overall. Both teams showing they're equally capable of defense, which is slightly favored here. You had just a slight advantage in a 4-2 for both teams on their defenses. So clearly that was the way.